lovers do.
Okay.
Such a beautiful voice.
All right, what's going on, guys? It's Steeler here, back again with RDX Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, for those that don't know, new to the channel maybe, this is our weekly show where we talk about games and everything else. It's kind of an in-depth type of deal. So I want to start by introducing everybody while we will let people filter in, get to the good topics. We'll start with Luca. Thank you for showing up. I know you're not feeling great, but thanks for showing up anyway.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm really looking forward to, going through these topics. It's been kind of crazy the last couple of days, and I think we're going to have a good show tonight.
Yeah, it's been really crazy. D, man, thanks. Your second episode as an RDX member. For those that may have missed, for the frauds that may have missed an episode, D is a permanent member of RDX now. Thanks for showing up, brother.
Yes, man. Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be on this show, and yeah, let's get it going. I'm really excited for what's going to happen this week with all the news that we have. There's just so many topics to cover, and they're impactful.
Big stuff. Colt, what's going on, man? Thanks for showing up again. I don't know why I keep saying thanks for showing up to all you guys, but you're here. Thank you, guys. Colt, what have you been up to?
Thank you for inviting me, actually. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm excited. It seems like every week when we sit down to do RDX, there's some hot, sparkly, bubbly news on the Xbox front. So tonight's going to be good.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on. And Fonz, you didn't get punched off the podcast this week, man. How you been? What have you been up to?
Hey, everybody. We're going to talk about a lot of games tonight and a lot of rumors. Yeah.
105 Light FM.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. A lot of games, a lot of pretty crazy rumors. Thank you so much to the well over 200 people already joining us live. Please hit that like button as we get into the first topic. But before we get into the first topic, I got to say real quick, Patreon announcement. For those that are patrons, I got a giveaway in the next few days. Be sure and keep an eye on the site. And of course, giving away all kinds of good shit. I figured I'd get that out there real quick. Let's talk about Anthem real quick. Reportedly delayed till 2019. Who is looking forward to Anthem?
Me. I was really looking forward to it, but I'd rather they delay it and fix whatever it is that they're panicking about than push it out.
No, it's probably some loot box fiasco. And oh, man, everything was powered by loot boxes, but that Battlefront 2 thing didn't work so well. Fonz, what do you think about Anthem, man? You kind of disappointed? Did you expect this?
Well, I was thinking about it, and
oh my God,
no, I'm just kidding. Hey, look, man, I'm as excited for Anthem as anybody else because, it is the A team at BioWare. But, it is what it is. I think personally, I made a joke on Twitter, and then some people kind of ran with it, that they were taking the loot boxes and stuff out of the game. It's going to take a little more time to do that.
Yeah. So Fonz, good job spreading that misinformation. You've got to hold your end of the bargain here on the podcast. You're a great member. You're doing your job very well. Colt, anybody else opinions on Anthem real quick?
I don't know. I'm not hyped up like everybody else is. I know, like Fonz said, it's the A team for BioWare, so that's good. I don't really know what the story is, like what the story narrative is of the game. I'm sure the gameplay will be awesome because that was Andromeda's saving grace. But I don't know. Let's see. I think
Cyrus Burke in the super. Sorry, you took a pause and I took advantage of it. Cyrus Burke.
Yeah, go ahead. You must.
He says in the super chat, are we going to discuss the fanboy bullshit on Twitter where they're saying basically Microsoft exclusives are going to end up on PlayStation, Nintendo? That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard of. Anybody with any business sense knows that Microsoft don't need to do this. But these same people talk about how Microsoft are hurting so bad, even though they're among the most profitable that they've ever been in the Xbox division. Don't raise everyone else's standards up to PlayStation with how successful they've been with selling consoles. Just because they're not up there with PlayStation, nothing has ever been that high. Doesn't mean they're failing. I don't think Microsoft want to put these games on PlayStation in the first place. What do you think, Luca?
I'm not sure, dude. I mean, I think it's kind of crazy, like the idea of it actually having an Xbox app on your PlayStation. I don't know. It just seems really far-fetched. And I think people, I don't know. It sounds like a fanboy argument to me, to be perfectly honest. It just seems like there's just going to be a service. It's going to be on my PlayStation. I don't have to buy an Xbox, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, man, I don't know. Like, I think people shouldn't go around saying stuff like that because it just makes you look stupid.
So. And you know why they're saying this, right? is because they know in probably 3 years Xbox is going to have a streaming app, 2 or 3 years, and because Xbox has a streaming app, they jump to Xbox games are coming to PlayStation. Now, I don't know. I hate to remind people of common sense things, just facts, really. Sony did the games as a service thing years ago with PlayStation Now, correct? False, true, no, yes? Absolute fact, right? I'm almost done. And so if they're bringing PlayStation Now, they've already had PlayStation Now in the market for years. Some of the Xbox guys were saying that about PlayStation. And even back then, I was like, no, that's stupid. Just because they're just, you know what I'm saying? It's so stupid to assume that because there's a streaming service coming. So, you know, I can't wait for a couple years to go by.
I will say this because this is what I do believe. I do believe that these streaming services will be on other devices. However, if they're going to be on a Sony or Nintendo platform, jury's still out on that in my mind. But on other devices, I can see it on TVs, tablets, phones, that sort of thing. You can play some iteration of Game Pass on another device. I believe that is coming.
That's absolutely happening. Just like PlayStation Now, where I can play it on my PC. They'll probably move to other platforms.
But here's the argument I have with what some of them are saying about the Xbox having games on other devices. Because if they were to acquire EA, then you would have Microsoft published games on other devices because those games would not be exclusive. I don't believe so.
Yeah. I said the exact same thing in my last video. If you didn't see that, check it out. We're going to cover all that. There's so many opinions with this EA and PUBG and Valve acquisitions. We're going to get to that. That's one of our more juicy topics, though not the most juicy, in my opinion. So once again, good question, Cyrus. We appreciate it in the super chat, man. It's just a bunch of bullshit. These people have never been right about anything but NPDs, which is common sense. And, you know, during the Xbox One X, the Scorpio, all those rumors, they were all wrong about that. The price point, the performance, they're not really right about much at all when you think about it. So it's just one of those things where, you know, they let their fanboyism get the better of them. And they might say we're fanboys, but then they can't point out anything we've said in the last couple of years that's all that radical. You know, that's just what I got to say on it. So thanks for the question. But PUBG, over 4 million in just over a month. That's kind of a big deal for a smaller game. What do you guys think about this? Don't all jump in at once.
How about Ash and Luca? How about you take this one?
Fuck you, D. Fuck you. It's to be expected. The game is killing it on PC. I'm not really surprised. People, like everyone on my friends list, was playing it like crazy, and you know, kept trying to get me on it. Yeah, but you know, it's good. It's good. You know, good for them. Is the game like? Does it have more than just 2 maps yet? Is it fixed? Oh, okay.
It only has 1 map on console.
Okay.
Now I will say, Luca hasn't played it with like friends like us. I guarantee if she squatted up with me, Colt, all day, and someone else or whatever, then you know she'd probably have a much better time.
I'm waiting, bro. I'm waiting.
All right. Well, we gotta get you feeling better first. We can't get you in PUBG rage quitting.
Oh yeah.
Have you doing that shit. So, D, what do you think about this, man? You got a little controversy with saying that the console version is better than the PC version. What I was saying that you were saying is that you meant it's the best version for you because your friends are there and all that good stuff, and you like the consistency or some shit. What did you mean by all that?
I was talking clearly from a gameplay standpoint. Obviously it's going to look better on the PC, but right now on the PC, like I was stating, like you can be behind a wall and these guys are like shooting you behind the wall and killing you, or they're teleporting out of the way of bullets. Like there's a lot of cheating going on in the PC, and I'm saying that for me that's not fun. I'd rather play on the Xbox with my friends first of all. I
don't have that perspective.
Runs better.
I don't have that perspective because I haven't really played it on PC. But I will say, and this is a fact, 1.5 million accounts were banned off of PUBG on PC because they were hacked accounts, cheater accounts. So there's some validity there.
Yeah, that's pretty high.
Yeah, which we covered previously. So what do you think about this milestone real quick before we start getting into some of the bigger topics?
What, the 4 million?
Yeah.
Yeah, the game's huge. You know, every time I get coerced in playing it, I have a really good time. We have tons of laughs. It gets super intense, but I'm not compelled to play it. Like right now, I'm playing Monster Hunter because it's like the enjoyable game to play with people, and I kind of took a break from it, but it's doing well.
Hey, we got to give a shout out to over 400 people watching live already. Please hit that like button, guys. We appreciate it. What's going on, Black Tiger, Salty, even Top Frog? Hey, how you doing, Top Frog? We changed your name from Top Frog to Top Frog. Thank you for showing up, but we're just kidding around with you. Obviously,
what's up, Top Dog?
Hey, Fawn's biggest fan.
No, I like Top Dog. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just wanted to say about PUBG. Look, I'm kind of over the whole like honeymoon phase of PUBG. I think it's an okay game with friends and stuff, but man, if you don't have that camaraderie, you don't have that, your friends playing with you and talking on the mic and having good laughs, the game pretty much sucks for me.
Yeah, so you kind of, for you got to be running it with
you got to. You got to.
And I'm not going to play that on, I have it on Steam. I'm not going to play that game on a mouse and keyboard. I'd like to bring in my controller and just absolutely just murdered with a controller. I'm not going to do that. So I'll just play it on Xbox.
I mean, hey, play where you want to play it, right?
Plus, every time I play another game right after playing PUBG, I just realize how badly that game runs.
And looks.
Yeah, it's still not 100%. So I will say it's drastically better, though.
And it's definitely not because of Xbox, or it's just not a very optimized game. The thing just sucks sometimes. Like, work on it. Bluehole, you made millions of dollars. Put it into the goddamn game.
I know it's like when you have Digital Foundry going, there's no reason why this game should look or run like this on hardware like the X. It's kind of, well, there you go.
Now the Player Unknown himself said that they are hiring for talent to make that game and optimize it even more and add so much more. But he's got a point. He's got a point when he says that you have to kind of vet these studios and find actual talented workers. You can't just say, I need Tinny over there from the corner, jump in the back of the truck. Let's go develop this game, right? That's not how it works, right? You got to recruit people and find people and see what they can do before you get to take them on. So it's going to take a little bit, right?
Yeah, so they were just sitting back counting that money all this time. Then finally they said, "Oh, we better fix this."
They were swimming in it. They weren't counting in it. They were just swimming in it in a big ass swimming pool. So yeah, I don't know. So
good. Thank goodness Mikey Barra showed up. So he's such a loyal fan.
He put some fragmented codes in the chat.
Drop some codes, Mike.
Yeah,
fragmented ones. Those
Mikey
are the best
Barra.
ones.
Shout out to you, Mikey Barra in the chat. Yeah.
Woo!
Oh man, I follow you on Twitter, bud. So just so people know, Battlefront 2 fans, all 6, no, some people do like this game, but they're revamping the progression system. So this is kind of a smaller topic, but it's worth talking about because I feel like that's one of the main things holding back Battlefront 2 is the fact that, for one, I got to kill 5,000 people with one class to unlock 2 guns. Not literally, but it feels like it. And 2, I'm not really unlocking anything because I got to go in there and spend several hundred credits on a crate or a couple thousand, whatever. It's just not where it should be. Colt, what do you think about this progression system? I know you've dealt with it.
It's so bad. I mean, I don't. It just kind of kills it for me. It's just like the progression is what keeps you moving match after match. So.
Yeah, and we're not like complainers when it comes to games unless we're just kind of jaded or it's getting old or, we're not overly critical of a lot of the stuff. And just being real, it needs some work. They need to fire that progression guy because they did a kind of similar thing with Battlefield 1. Not quite, but, it's kind of similar. And Battlefield 4 to me is still the best shooter on Xbox to this day because of its unlocks and how much content's there and the battle packs, which Battlefield 4 was the first one introducing these loot crates, right? Battle packs or loot crates. It's just a better game. It's got more stuff in it. So hopefully Bad Company 3 is kind of fully featured,
Yeah, the troops, I don't know if you want to call it the boots on the ground, the Stormtrooper boots on the ground mode is not very fun for me. Like I like the Starfighter Assault stuff and the campaign's pretty cool, but I'm just not compelled to play that game. I kind of shouldn't have bought it, I guess.
That's what I usually do. I usually just do the Starfighter fights.
It's really good.
That's the highlight for me. I really enjoy that. But not to derail this, but also too, EA did announce that we're getting a new Battlefield this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about it? I'm excited for that. I love Battlefield.
It better be Bad Company 3.
Yeah, it better be Bad Company, and I want it set in Vietnam or something newer. No old shit, please.
Because
they always have Bad Company, huh, Jay?
They always call that game Battlefield Bad Company, right? That's the heading. Yeah. So hopefully, Marlo.
Top Dog says Battlefield 4 best shooter this generation. I agree, man. If that game wasn't broken for almost a year after launch, it would have been so much better. But
it has so much content, man.
Works great now, man. I just wish it got a patch, But anyway, we're talking about old ass fucking games. Okay, so. Games with gold for February 2018 have been revealed. Shadow Warrior 2, which actually not too long ago. Assassin's Creed India, never played it.
No.
Split Second, which is kind of like a destruction-based racing game for the 360, and Crazy Taxi for the 360 as well.
Crazy Taxi.
Yeah, Crazy Taxi. So I know
Dreamcast.
Luca's extremely interested in this lineup. What do you think about? Which one can't you wait to play, Luca?
Crazy Taxi, obviously, brings me back to my youngin' days, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But jokes aside, I can't imagine. I can't remember the last time I actually downloaded and played any of these free games that they offer. So
yeah,
I don't really feel anything about it.
You're just kind of meh.
Yeah.
Split Second's cool. If you guys played it, it's a fun game. It's kind of cool. It's worth at least spending a few hours trying it out and getting through some of the races, see if you like it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I like getting at least something more for my $60 because I'm not one of those that thinks that we should have to pay to play online, right? And at least we're getting something for $60, whereas before PlayStation Plus, which is they're the ones who started this, which I've given them credit several times in the past. Before PlayStation Plus, we didn't used to get anything every month. So, I've gotten some decent games, Black Flag and stuff, Sunset Overdrive and all that stuff.
Still get it up done though, because the PlayStation, what they offered this month was pretty good, man.
I don't.
What they offer this month?
They offered Deus Ex.
Is that
Deus Ex?
Deus Amadeus. Yeah, Deus Ex. And a couple other games. I downloaded them too. They were better than what Microsoft was offering this month, and most months they usually are, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've seen them go back and
trade
forth.
blows. They trade blows to me anyway.
Yeah, it seems like every other month, Xbox has a really cool couple games, and then the next month, PlayStation has 2 really good games. But it's funny when dealer says I'm one of those guys that doesn't want to pay to play online. It's like for so long I've been kind of telling myself, oh, I'm that $60 a year is for the free games. That's kind of
well, they're not free then, are they?
Right, they're about $1.20 a piece or something.
I know that overall you get value from it, right? It adds up to several $100s a year in games if you were to buy them yourself. But if I'm not going to use it's worth whatever I'm willing to pay for it, right?
Can I say that the Xbox party chat has been almost flawless, compared to what it was last year? Have you guys noticed?
Flawless, yeah. It had some hiccups over the summer. Yeah.
So I don't know if they, put in an extra little something or other in there, but it's been really reliable. So I don't know. Maybe that money is going to something. Meanwhile, PlayStation Network was down for almost a week, which really sucks when Monster Hunter was brand new and everybody wanted to get on. That's kind of an online only game. It's all, you can't pause the game. I don't know how that was going. Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Yeah. Really crappy time.
It was up and down, yeah.
But PlayStation Network has not really been down in 2 years. They've had a really good track record of reliability too.
Let's see. Daniel J in the super chat says, imagine if Madden or FIFA were exclusive to Xbox and did crossplay. You know what? We're going to get into a lot of this stuff here in a little bit. That's actually something interesting to think about. That's one of the biggest things with this acquisition, but like I said, we'll get into those opinions. Thanks for the question, bud. So yeah, in the chat, let us know what games you would like to see free with gold, right? Personally, have they given Rise away yet?
I think so. Yeah.
Wait, yes.
I'm not sure, but there's certain games that pop into my mind that I think every Xbox fan should play. Rise, I went back and captured some gameplay because back in 2013-14, when we were still using the much worse base Xbox game DVR before it got the 1080p update, was just horrible. No one could really tell how good Rise looked because everyone that was doing Xbox videos with it were using that old DVR, right? So the footage just was horrible. Now I went back and captured some more so people can really see how good that game looked. It's nuts to this day. It looks crazy. So, hey, I wanted to talk about Rainbow Six Siege real quick. Getting an Xbox One X update. It is not on the website right now, or wasn't last time I checked. They were asked on Twitter if the game was getting a 4K enhancement for the X. They said, yes, it is. It is basically planned. So anybody out there looking forward to this, just letting you guys know, Rainbow Six Siege getting an update. I haven't played it. Has anybody? Have you played it?
I played it once or twice. It's really tactical. It has no story, so I was like, after a while I got bored with it, to be honest. But it's okay game for its genre, right? So
yeah.
Speaking of updates, Overwatch got its 4K Xbox One X update today.
Overwatch did?
Yeah, Overwatch got it.
It did?
Yeah.
Hey, Iron Beagle sent you $5, Colt. Even though, he said it's for you, but I guess I'll give it to you somehow.
I'm gonna go get one of those nacho fries boxes at Taco
we
Bell.
appreciate it, Super Chat.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, just start a tab, man. Oh man. So Overwatch got its update today. You said.
Yeah, it dropped today. It came out today.
Okay,
so we should see
be an analysis soon.
Yep.
Black Tiger.
Like it came out like I don't know, like 6 hours ago, something like that. But it's out.
Yeah, I'll be checking that out. Black Tiger, man, appreciate the super chat, brother.
Major Nelson posted on his Twitter if you guys want confirmation.
Yeah, I believe you. Hey, shout out to almost 500 people watching this live, guys. Hit that like button if you can. It really helps quite a bit.
Somebody believes D.
Yeah.
Somebody believes D. Hey, you know what? It is what it is, man. D, you're a good guy, man.
We love D, man.
Yeah.
Glad to have him on.
Hey, D, what do you think about Sea of Thieves? I know you were talking about it earlier.
Yeah, so I was telling you guys, so I really had a closed mind when it came to that game. Just from watching the streams, it's like, oh, this shit looks really boring. And then I got on with just some random guys, and just like the banter that we had, and like, you know, they're explaining me how I play the game and like how to raise the sails and how to change the angles and how to lay the anchor and, you know, how to repair stuff. I don't know, and we went over to some island, and we saw a ship there. So I said, okay, let's go over there. There was like a one-man ship. We were jerks. We sunk their ship, and then we realized that they had no treasure. So we're like, oh crap, why did we do that for? We just left the guy there, and we went back on our campaign, whatever. I don't know. It's just I don't know. I can't explain it. It's just fun. It's very organic. It's just fun, and the sailing elements, I really enjoyed it because it's kind of simulation. Like you have to, you know, raise your sails a half mast, full mast. You got to angle it towards the wind. You know, you got to
behind the wheel you can't see, which is really cool. You got to have somebody watching your back, and
exactly. And the water is the best water I've ever seen.
Be quiet, Luca.
It is so fantastic.
Oh my God.
It really is. It really is. They did a good job on the water, especially when the sea's getting rough and those waves start ripping up. Man, it's very realistic. Good job, man.
Mm-hmm. She's like, yeah, tired of hearing about the water.
All people are
it's
saying.
just water.
No,
I mean, it looks nice, but
you look at the water and it's just gorgeous. Then you look at the character models and you're like, what's Fortnite doing here?
I mean, basically
terrible.
Like, I mean, listen, I just don't like sailing in games. I don't like that, you know. Maybe I'm just biased against it, but I don't know.
Yeah, we do have to note that you two both did not like Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
But here's the thing too. I got to preface it by saying I did not try this beta, but I watched a lot of footage because I was laughing my ass off at the banter going on between some people trying to play this game. But there you go.
Hey, turn that shit off or it gets
Yeah. You can't do that. You can't do that here. I like to liken this game more, you know that old Commodore song, Sail On, you know, it's more sleepy like that, because watching this game, I don't see the appeal at all. And D's like saying, yeah, it was boring until he got in and just started having fun with the banter. Do you realize what you're saying? You had fun talking to friends. I could have fun in party chat too. I don't need to fire up a game for that.
Yeah, but
with these social games, they're working more on that social aspect and less on game mechanics. And for everything I've seen and heard with this game, the combat system is trash. So,
yeah, but
what?
The battle was related to the gameplay. Like there was one instance we were trying to find a treasure, and there's like clues. So you know, it says like raise. Like it's like
I hear that
like riddles and stuff.
Look,
so
I do have to say that Fonz and Luca's opinions do not reflect my opinion. Damn it!
If you are into boating and sailing and stuff, and this is a boating sim, hey, by all means, sail your ass off.
How much did you play, Fonz?
But I'm
not even into sailing, to be honest with you. I could care less about sailing.
Yeah.
Into it.
But the thing is like, if you're not playing with friends and you're not just having a great time with your buddies, this game is not a very good game as it stands in the beta. They can bring more, but I've seen that data mine list, and they're like bringing a chicken and some more fish, and there's two other
exciting.
Yeah,
well,
two other enemy types. So
we're making too many absolute claims.
I'm talking about the data mine. It's an absolute claim because that data mine.
Well, that's not even stuff that they're bringing. That's stuff that's possible. So it could be even worse than that, right? I'm just saying, let's slow down a little bit. As a boating game, it is easily one of the best ever made. If you're not into sailing, hey,
you know what? Hold on.
I mean, you're acting like, oh geez, but it's just a fact, is it not? I know you haven't played the game, and for some reason you have a vendetta.
Hold on. Let me say something.
But Luca, holy shit, lower.
Let me say something, Dealer, because we played the four of us. It was Saltius, it was Dealer, it was myself, and who was the other one we had all day with us, right? We did our whole thing, but I played on a 2-man boat with my friend, and we went out and we saw a boat and we attacked this boat. We circled, we had to get angles, he had to line up the cannon. There's no aiming reticle, you have to do it like in real life, watch where it shoots, try and lead it. We fought a boat, we went around, saw another boat. We fought about 6 different real people in their ships, some bigger ships and some regular sized ones. We did this for about an hour. We encountered like 6 different boats that we fought. We had so much fun. We were laughing. We were working together. We were getting out of our boat when it sunk and getting a new one. It was really, really fun. And it was a totally different experience than when the 4 of us were working together, charting across the entire ocean, somebody down on the map, watching the map, checking out oceans or checking out islands. Oh, that's the wrong one. We finally found it. We dug up a treasure. We carried it, and we're trying to get away from being attacked. It's
running from sharks on your way to the boat, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's,
but you agree with me though? I mean, here's the thing:
you don't play a game like that by yourself.
Here's
That's
the
just
thing.
not how it works.
Yeah, but here's the thing. My point is that social games like this are becoming. The main focus is the social aspect. So some of the gaming mechanics take a hit, like the combat in this game. From what it looks like and what I've been told by my friends that have played the game, they said the combat is not good.
No, it's
not good.
So combat isn't everything. Look at Fallout 3. That game is absolutely amazing. And the combat is really crappy.
But here's the thing, though. So if the combat isn't everything in this game, then it's a sailing simulator. Good luck with that.
Well,
no, the boat combat.
Hang on.
The boat combat.
To pretend like there's no market for a game like this is stupid, right? Just look at modern. Hang on, Fonz. Just look at modern gaming history with Black Flag. Everybody except for you two loved the sailing. People were saying, "Give us a sailing game. Give us just this." Right? Skull and Bones then gets announced, right? So there is a market, right? I mean, are you going to disagree with that?
Yeah, but looking at this game, and you have to
disagreeing that there's a market for this type of game.
No, there is, but you have to take the whole game into perspective.
Well, we're not saying that it's going to be amazing. We're not saying that it's even done.
I'm saying there's going to be a big market for this in Game Pass to 12-year-olds and under. It's going to be a big hit for them. Yes.
Well, I mean, maybe, but then you know what, Fonz, your kids might enjoy it.
Yes, my son, he probably would because he plays Roblox and stuff. So to me, this is like an extension of Roblox. It has beautiful water though, but everything else it's basically Roblox 2.0.
Like Roblox fraud.
Roblox. Oh man.
Hey, real quick, Iron Beagle in the chat, man, super chat, man. I appreciate it. I've been sitting here hovering on this, trying to give you a shout out, but we just got hit that like button for a good discussion like this because we're getting into it on Sea of Thieves. Okay.
Here's the thing. I would like to see, and I'm going to follow all these frauds out there that have been talking on podcasts saying how great this game's going to be and the sky's the limit.
Well, it's not.
I cannot wait. Here's the thing. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see them playing this game when the full version's out and another game drops. I better not see them drop everything. Drop Sea of Thieves like within a couple of days to play something else.
Oh, the canvas can do miracles. Just do it and see. I am sailing away, setting open calls for emergency.
Oh my God. Okay. So for one, I'm not saying that Sea of Thieves is just for kids either. So don't.
Yeah, I just want to say something real quick. Listen. I'm not interested in the game, but if you want to play it and you're all excited for it, like good on you. It's whatever to me. But
Brian in the chat says, "Fonz, here's $5. Go eat a Snickers."
No. Fonz,
that's funny. That's
about
funny.
Game Pass?
Yeah, Fonz is a negative guy tonight. It's okay. It's his
no. Fonz, are you thinking about buying Game Pass?
No, I gotta address Xbot. Xbot. I do say this game is going to be great for kids. Yes, I do. So I have no problems with that. But for you adults out there, they're saying this game is fantastic. I don't know. I don't know about that.
Nintendo label. Hey, Fonz, are you going to get Game Pass? Are you going to?
Yes.
Okay, so for $10, when it launches, you'll install Sea of Thieves, play with one of us one night, and then make your final decision. Just one chance with us.
But see, I would have fun playing with you in the fact that we'll be laughing and talking about other shit. We'll be playing.
What's wrong with that?
And all that stuff.
What's wrong with that?
But when it comes down to it, to the actual game, everything is wrong with that.
But that's part of the game, right?
The game itself is not very good as it stands in this beta. It is not good.
The combat is here. I'll tell you exactly what's not great with the game because I've actually played the game. Now, when it comes to the boating, simulating what it's like to run that boat, you've actually got to drop, raise all 3 sets of sails, angle them to catch the wind. So let's say you got 2 teams, 2 groups of sailors, and they're in combat, right? They've got to, load these cannons manually. They've got to carry the bowling balls up from below deck. If the boat gets hit, you got to seal that stuff up. But if you got a really skilled crew, your guys can keep those sails angled and pointed the right ways to outrun your opponents, escape, do all that stuff. So when it comes to the boating, it's second to none, and that is important to some people. That's one of the coolest things about the game.
Yeah,
the water is nuts, right? I'll tell you what else isn't great with the game, though. The combat, like you said, yeah, it's not great, and that's just a known fact. How empty the beta was, that's not great. At least give us some of those Call of Duty ghost fish that move out of your way, right? We need some wildlife in the game for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And, but for one, I also don't smash every beta that I play either because I know that these things aren't the full game. But if what they're saying in those data mines is correct, they're not adding a whole lot to this either. I mean, they said actually I've got a list of stuff here that we should have kind of read off a while back about Sea of Thieves. For one, they're saying that when you fight the Kraken, apparently there's a Kraken in the game, there may be a possibility of it wrapping its tentacles around the boat and pulling it under, stuff like that. Like Vaughn said, potential boat customization, a chicken or some crap no one cares about. We just don't know enough about it. But what I will say is when it comes to simulating that crew aspect and running that boat around, it's not exactly my type of game. I said this in a video. I'll probably use Game Pass for this game. I'll buy every other game that I really want to play. But it is variety at the very least. We hear that from the Sony crowd a lot. Variety.
Yeah.
Yep. But this is definitely a game that is not Microsoft's saving grace at all. I will say that.
No, I agree. It's not the game they really need to blow people away right now.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I will say that this is when I'm speaking on for myself. I personally just do not like boating games. I don't like anything to do with that sailing crap. And if you're into that, hey, more power to you. You'll love this game.
Sailing.
So I don't know. I that's why I really wanted you to try it, and that's also part of why the game is one of the top, if not the top, watched game on Twitch. It's the game's empty. That's undeniable. But people are curious about this game as a whole, as I said on Twitter.
And people are creating experiences in the game. It's like a kind of a blank slate.
Curious. Anytime gamers are on the fence, right? They're gonna try to seek it out and watch it on Twitch and be like, should I check this out? And that's one reason that it was so high up on Amazon. It was sold out on Amazon because they were pre-ordering the game, getting the beta code instantly through email, and just canceling the pre-orders. That's just a fact of the matter. That's why the game was so high up on Amazon. I'm sure some of that was obviously legitimate, but a lot of people wanted that beta code, myself included. So, I wanted to try it out and see what it was all about, and I'm glad I did because I know what it's about now. I'm a little less down on the game aside from the negatives I mentioned. So at the very least, try out the beta. It's open for one more day, I think.
31st, tomorrow it ends.
So we'd like to know what you guys think in the chat about Sea of Thieves, if you played it, stuff like that. What do you think about compared to Fonz? Anybody agree? Maybe you're not so hot on the game. Maybe you got some concerns.
And tell Luca how you feel about the water.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, the water is crazy. I mean, it's just a fact.
I'm going to do a video tomorrow about the water. It's going to be a whole documentary.
Hey, Christopher Vega in the super chat, man. We appreciate it. He says, what do you think about time third-party deals in Game Pass where they'll drop 1, 2, 3 months later instead of day and date in Game Pass? What do you think about that, D?
That is a very good idea. On certain exclusives, say like I don't know, like Battlefield, maybe a month early, you get it on Xbox. 3 months might peeve gamers too much, like a month early. Certain games, I totally agree with that. Now I know we're gonna dig. I don't know if we're gonna dig into this conversation now, but
no, not quite yet. But yeah, just continue.
Well, I just want to talk about, like, I've heard other people say, oh, they should keep the multiplats all on the Xbox. Like this, it doesn't make sense. You got an install base of like 65 million. What is it, 70 million now over on the PlayStation side, and we know that sports games sell the most, and these multiplats sell the most. So why would they take these games off of that system and just put it on their platform? They'd be losing money. Now, if they're going to acquire one of these big studios, they have to recoup that money, and they got to recoup it as quick as possible.
So, and you do that by making money off of the biggest platform. And make a few bucks off every PlayStation console.
And we have a blueprint for this already. They did this with Minecraft. Minecraft is still on Nintendo. It's still on Sony's platform. They could have taken it off and said no, it's going to be exclusive to Windows 10 PCs and the Xbox One X or the S, whatever. And they didn't. They kept it over there. So if they acquire one of these studios, the only thing that's going to change is that we're going to have these games day one in Game Pass.
Anyway, Salty says, water boy.
That's high quality H2O in the game.
Yeah, a lot of good points, man. We're going to really deep dive in on that subject here in a minute. But Game Pass there's nothing really been done much like it in the way they've delivered that. So that's a big subject. Certain UK retailers are refusing to stock Xbox products. First-party titles like Sea of Thieves will not be stocked there, put on shelves, or sold because of Game Pass. I'd like to know what your opinions on this are, Luca. They really don't like this idea that that just shows you how much potential Game Pass has. It has them kind of scared.
Yeah, this is something that I definitely thought about when they announced it. And I know a lot of people were ragging on, what was it, that Austrian retailer? Was it Australian or Austrian?
Austrian, yeah.
That Austrian retailer about it, like, oh yeah, some dude from Austria, who cares about that, right? And I made a point to one of my friends because he DM'd me about it and he was like making fun of it. I was like, I don't know. I feel like it's completely possible that other retailers would do the same thing. Let's just wait and see what happens, And I guess that's what happened. Like other UK retailers, like, yeah, we're not going to carry it. I'm like, okay, it's just something to keep in mind and something to look out for, because I definitely think that more retailers they might do this,
They're just killing themselves and propelling digital even faster, right? When they do this.
Yeah.
What do you think about this, Fonz? Boycotting Xbox products because of Game Pass?
I think it's just this Austrian company just trying to get publicity by doing this.
No, there's some in the UK as well. Just came out today.
Is it really? Well, honestly, I don't know, man. Like, do you think it could happen here, stateside? Is it big companies?
Stateside? No, I haven't heard of anyone yet.
And here's the thing too. Consoles is not where Microsoft makes their money anyway. Matter of fact, they probably take a hit on the Xbox, or the Xbox One X at least. I think it's games. Of course, games is what makes the money, and I think that until they start taking those down, which they won't, of course, because that's what makes them money too. It's not really it's a non-issue. You can still pick up a console somewhere else.
Well, I mean, if somebody owns an Xbox, right, and you go to their store and they're like, "Oh, we don't carry that game on Xbox." What are you going to do? Pick up a PlayStation? Say, okay, give it to me for PlayStation. You're going to say, all right, well, I'm going to go somewhere else that does have it.
Yep.
Right. Yep. You're not going to buy another console just because they don't have the copy of the game for you, or you're just going to download it.
Yeah, that's
pretty much.
I think you would just download it. I don't think it's going to hurt them at all. People are just going to say, okay, you know what? I'll just go home and download it. It's all right, whatever.
And we're looking at 5 to 10% of the console libraries on Game Pass. And not even and half of that Game Pass offering is not like the best games on the planet, and they're definitely not ones that are ever moving off of a shelf at a retail store. So it's kind of weird. I mean, I guess they're afraid that Game Pass would become huge, but think about Blockbuster in 2009, 2010, what they were thinking when Netflix was becoming huge. They were shaking in their boots, because they were sitting there doing the same thing. They had DVDs and and VHS sitting on the shelf, and you go in there and rent, and they're like, oh, we're all out of that one. Let me go check the bin and see if there's anything left. You know, it's like, it's time to move. And when you're in when you're like that, you need to move. You need to start moving.
You got these dinosaurs clinging to old business models, and they're not finding ways to embrace the new ones. And you know what? When movies became streamable, you know, on Netflix and all this stuff, you didn't have Walmart freaking out and threatening not to carry movies anymore.
Yeah,
they still carry them.
Yeah, and they do fine. They do fine.
I just think it's important to remember. Sorry, Dee, but I think it's important to remember that we're getting closer and closer to a digital age, and I think people need to just get with the times and stop rallying against it and getting so upset and just being like, "Oh, those millennials are ruining everything." Like, no one cares. Let it go. Get over it. Like, this is what we're doing. Just accept it. You know.
It's a different segment of the market. Some people prefer digital. Some people want the physical. They're still gonna have the option to get the physical. Nobody's forcing you to go digital. But you know what? The digital model is cheaper, and of course you don't have to factor in going up to the store, putting gas in your damn car to get up there. You know,
wearing pants.
And you and you can download it for quickly and for a cheaper price. It would make sense. So
digital is only really cheaper with like PC with Steam and stuff. Right now on consoles,
not even cheaper from Steam anymore.
It's still cheaper. It's still cheaper to go physical right now.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but at the point is that with Game Pass, and you know, if all these rumors are true that they're acquiring these other big companies and they put those games in there, then it is going to make it cheaper to download, because you're going to be subscribing for $120 for the year, and you're gonna be getting all these games.
Just a few in there by themselves are worth $120, no problem. So, and you got to remember, we're gonna get more and more into this Game Pass thing, but you know, people rent games a lot too, and even if you maybe subscribe for a month, you know, you pay $10 for a month to rent however many games in Game Pass, so you go to the store and rent one game for $8. Who benefits? You, the consumer.
That's actually that's a really good point. That's a really good point, dealer. Because like with games like Destiny 2, I like went out and I rented it before I like bought it, and this way it's easier. You don't have to worry about like those Redbox late fees or anything like that. You can just plop down $10, try out the games you want to try, and be like, okay, I like this, I like this, I like this. I'll pick this up.
Yeah.
Also, the developer benefits from that, because when you're renting it from Redbox or these stores, they don't get a penny from it. But if it's on Game Pass, you know, once you download it, that developer gets a point.
Yep. And like Fonz was saying on Steam, you know, even day one PC games now, from what I've noticed, the last time I checked, they're around $60 on day one as well, unless you go to CD Keys or G2A, where often you're not paying the developer for those codes. You're buying them secondhand. That's why they're so cheap. So, you know, if you buy games from developers officially, you're paying around the same on no matter what platform you're on. And that's also why digital games are not cheaper on the store, if you're wondering, because retailers get mad when you undercut them. That, you know, they get very mad and they threaten to do things like these UK ones are doing, and they say, if you drop that price to $50 new digital compared to our 60, you know, we might boycott some products, and that's why it's like that.
I just want to add this here. I'm not too sure about GTA, but CD Keys, actually the developers do get paid for that. CD Keys is legit.
Yeah. So I mean, either way, I think there's some stuff on CD Keys though that isn't. Can't third party sell there?
Not on CD Keys.
Okay.
Hey, how about the chat? You guys vote. How many of you are mostly digital? Put a D in the chat if you're going mostly digital, and if you are like refusing to go digital, put a P for physical.
Oh God, you just
for the most part. I'm gonna put.
Hey, we do gotta give a shout out to pretty much 600 people watching live, guys. We appreciate it. Hit that like button. Let's get well over 300 before the end of the show. Thank you guys so much. Hey, Microsoft. And we're going to get back into this Game Pass thing, some stuff we didn't cover yet. But Microsoft purchased PlayFab. This is a cloud-based service provider. Now, there are over 1,200 developers and gaming companies using this service today. They provide developers with back-end services for cloud-powered connected games. So if you've got any game pretty much that needs some kind of cloud compute, needs some kind of cloud data storage, they have that service covered. They also help with monetization and stuff like that, predictive algorithms for that kind of stuff. So basically, they purchased PlayFab in order to add it to Azure, which, as you guys know, is already one of the biggest server networks in the world already. And this is supposed to help Microsoft with some online stuff. Look at all those Ds. Look at all those Ds, D.
Jeez, a lot of
All your little minions.
So yeah, they picked this service up. I'm not sure how much they paid, but man, Microsoft are going on a buying spree. That's for sure. They are. They're picking up a lot of stuff here lately, supposedly. So I don't know. Any opinions on that, Colt?
It tells me that Crackdown 3 needs a lot of help.
No, they're not. They're not Cloud Compute. That's a Cloud Gen. That's a different company, which was actually bought up by Epic. We didn't get to cover that either. Cloud Gen, the company behind Crackdown 3's destructive tech, was bought by Epic. Epic say that does not affect Crackdown 3's multiplayer in any negative way or anything like that. So kind of odd. Microsoft helped develop that tech and then just let it get bought by Epic, but they do that sometimes. You know,
well, like you were saying, Dealer, like we want Microsoft to be more aggressive. They kind of need to act as big as they're supposed to be, and if they're trying to acquire these studios, like we're going to talk about in a minute here, you know, they need to step up and start throwing some money down and kind of put some dominance in the marketplace. I mean, they have their place, and they need to puff up the chest and show it, and so we can get better experience.
Use that money.
Mm-hmm.
D, what do you think about this? I did a video on this. Raven Ridge APU tech finally was unveiled. The core count, the thread count on certain models. This could point to certain CPU trends in consoles in the future. That was the point of my video. They could be potentially going from this 8 physical cores down to perhaps 4 physical and 4 virtual threads on the next generation APU and PS5 and whatever the next Xbox is called. I thought it was interesting because they're finally coming out with these Zen-powered cores and the APUs. This is what we've been talking about for a while. I had mentioned that this has never really been done before in terms of the hyper-threading or the multi-threading. 360, and the reason I didn't mention 360 is, yeah, it was 6 cores technically, or 6 threads technically, but it was in order operations. One thread had to finish before the next could begin, and it just slowed it down so much. You couldn't do anything until one process was done. So I wasn't going to compare the two. This is simultaneous multi-threading SMT. So you're getting the full effect of all these threads for the first time, and 4 of those would be virtual. What do you think about that being in the next Xbox and what that could mean?
Well, this is the shit that started everything for me. The Ryzen. This is what I predicted to be in the Xbox One X, because of course I am a stockholder of AMD, so I am, you know, I of course I follow the company, and I knew that these were being developed. Unfortunately for me, it wasn't in time, or it wasn't, you know, in line with the Xbox One X specification. However, the next generation consoles, definitely they're going to be getting away from Jaguar. They're going to have one of these APUs in it, probably a little bit more beefed up by the time it's coming around. I would say they're probably going to start working. Well, they're working on it now, but they're probably starting to finalize the specs. I would say maybe by the end of this year, they're going to finalize the specs in the PS5 and the next Xbox.
Ryzen uppercut.
And I'm pretty sure they're going to be using Ryzen this time, because this generation, that's the number one bottleneck. It's the CPU, so they have no choice but to go that way.
Now that they finally got the GPU overhead, right? They can finally put that CPU to use with frames.
And the thing with these Raven Ridge APUs is that they're very affordable. So this fits into the company's design for a console, because they'll be able to get it at a good price. And of course, they're going to order it in bulk. So it's going to be a good deal, bringing the prices of the next gen consoles down a little bit.
Well, I think you were close, D. I thought it was like make or break for the Xbox One X to go Ryzen. I think that window was really close. When I was kind of looking into, you know, they had to look at price, timing, and I just think it just didn't work out. So I think your prediction was pretty solid.
If the next consoles do not have Ryzen, I'm going PC, and I hate PC.
You're going Atari box.
Hey, if they bring over that Jaguar CPU again, I'm done.
It's already.
No, it won't be. Jaguar's done. That's it.
Yeah.
They're also too, the reason why they went with Jaguar in the long run, from all the interviews with Phil and everybody, was basically the price. They wanted to keep the price down. If they had gone with a Raven Ridge APU, it would have raised the price, right? So
it just wasn't available at the time, right? So a lot of people are like, well, they're not going to. They never use cutting edge tech in the consoles, and which one isn't true, right? 12 gigabytes.
Xbox 360 was.
Yeah, I mean, even the Xbox One X with its high-end memory capabilities, and it still has Vega features in the GPU like Delta color compression. We've covered that in the past. That's a fact. It does have Vega features in its Polaris GPU. There are things that make it trickle its way into consoles. So that's what I thought was interesting. By the time these consoles come out, these Raven Ridge APUs are not going to be the latest tech. They're still going to be infinitely more capable than what we have now, but they're not going to be like the thing that came out this year, right?
No.
Yeah, I think next generation we're going to see something that just, you know, like the X really kind of surprised a lot of people with how great it is. But I think these, you know, PS5 and this new Xbox are going to have like that power where it's like, well, you're getting everything you want. You know, everyone's going to have 4K TVs by then. Like I'm like just about everybody, right? And every game's probably going to be at the 60 FPS target, like almost no matter what. And you're going to be pushing 4K graphics at 60 on a console for $500. Man, people are going to be really happy.
Yeah. Well, we'll finally get real 4K, guys.
I have to disagree there. We're getting quite a bit of real 4K now, but more importantly, you'll finally get 60 frames on open world games. Hopefully.
Yeah.
So that's a game changer for me. A lot of people are like, well, 4K 120 FPS. No, they're not going to do 4K 120 FPS. Many panels. The common denominator here is 60 FPS refresh on a lot of these TVs. So they're not going to give you 120 FPS when most people can't see it. They're not going to be able to see it or use it, right? 60 FPS.
120 hertz is fake anyway. It's interpolated on all these panels. So
well, some
60
of them,
is the real. Oh, no, are there ones that actually do native?
No, they do 120. They do one. The 240 is interpolated.
Is interpolated.
But some depending on the TV, some TVs do 120 interpolated, but there are as well ones that do 120 native, like the Samsungs do 120 native, the OLEDs do 120 native. In fact, they have a game mode where you can do 1080p 120.
How much are those TVs?
Well, the OLEDs have come down in price. So the OLEDs you can find a 55-inch, roughly for maybe about 15 or something like that now.
Really? That cheap? I thought they were all about 2,000 for a 55-inch.
I know over Black Friday they were definitely 15 and under sometimes.
Yeah. So well, we're coming to the end of the season now, so the new OLEDs are going to come in like in March. So you're going to start seeing them clearing out these models. But and like this year, if you get your hands on one, just buy a B7 because it's the same as the other models. The only thing differentiating these models are the sound. And most people are going to have a surround sound system anyways. Grab a B7 for a good price, and that's it. Call it a day.
But more importantly, these consoles are going to want to push a standard of 60 FPS at 4K with bigger worlds, better graphics, more stuff going on, more characters on screen. Like, you know, the true next-gen experience. And those of us who played a lot of 60 FPS titles, or we played, that's where we prefer. Just imagine playing anything and everything on your console at 60 FPS. That's a good experience.
We called it before. Go ahead, Luca.
Yeah, I just have a comment to make. It's one of the dudes in the chat. He's like, dealer, that's stupid. They should go 4K 30. It's been proven the human eye can only see up to 24 FPS.
Whoa.
Just stop.
Sorry, buddy. I have to very respectfully disagree, bud.
Oh my God, if I hear some bullshit like that again, I'm gonna go freaking postal, dude.
We can tell, Fonz.
The whole 60.
Fonz, I'm gonna throw letters at you and certified
do you remember
mail.
Well, do you remember this whole 60 versus 30 thing that went on about 2 months ago in the community?
Oh yeah, that was really stupid.
Holy shit, man. Luca, you were there with me on the front lines. You saw it all.
It was really bad.
I missed the guy who commented that, but if you would go to my channel, I've got a 1080p 60 video that's about 60 is better than 30.
Oh yeah, that was a really good video code. Like I showed it to a bunch of people and they're like, "Oh." Yeah,
I slow down the footage.
Like, oh,
footage 200%, zoom in and show you the difference, and I explain the science behind it.
Guys.
I think it was the Forza Horizon 3 comparison I did for the PC on the Xbox. There was a part in there where I split it, and you could see it switch from 30 to 60, and right when it switched to 60, it was just so ultra smooth.
I do have to be a little bit, more. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know the word for it, but this guy may have a serious condition, and maybe he can't see 60 frames. So I feel sorry for him. Okay, feel sorry for you.
Maybe he has like a ocular bottleneck in his brain GPU. No, I'm just kidding. No, if you pay attention to more 60 footage online or even in games or anything, video, you'll start to notice. You get an eye for it. Right away you'll know.
It's not even just sight, it's feel.
Yeah.
I feel the 60 frame difference.
Yeah.
I feel it.
Yeah. So and we gotta respectfully disagree, bud. Yeah, 60 is definitely where it's at. Every game is better at 60. Even Uno. I noticed Uno on the Xbox One is running at 60. I'm not even kidding. So, it's just one of those things where that's at. There's a reason a lot of these games have come to 60. It's a standard in multiplayer now on consoles, it seems like, for the most part. And, it's just better. It's just a fact. So, let's not argue for 30. Let's not go backwards. Let's not argue for parity. Let's not go backwards. Let's try to go forward and get some of this better shit. So we got some other topics to talk about. Microsoft, and this is a rumor thanks to Polygon. They have apparently a trusted, proven source. They've used this guy to break news in the past. He's close to Microsoft. They say Microsoft are looking to acquire some pretty big, massive companies. First, it was companies like Valve. Then it was PUBG Corporation. More recently, they say EA is on the dock. It's Electronic Arts, yes, the giant mega publisher. Up for sale, apparently, and Microsoft are looking at purchasing these guys. Real quick opinions before I give some more details.
Oh, gosh.
Well, I think it's needed, because if you're going to run a game service that's a subscription based and you're going to try to run like the Netflix model, you need a steady stream of games coming into that. And we know right now Microsoft just doesn't have that. And them going out and acquiring these games will actually fill that gap. So if you have a new release coming in, even if it's a timed exclusive coming in every 2 months, it gives you a reason to keep subscribing to that service. Because Microsoft, I know they don't want customers just to come in and get it for 1 month and jump out. Now, if some customers do that, that's okay, because those customers probably wouldn't have got the game in the first place. So that's just an extra $10 for them. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But to have a steady stream of games coming in every month is the only way the Game Pass is really going to stand the test of time.
Vaughn, you're such a fuckface. I can't see past 10 FPS.
Yeah.
Oh, man. If they were to buy EA, right, for one, that's going to be a massive acquisition. And as I pointed out in my last video, we think this is insane now, but so was the Xbox Scorpio rumors with 6 teraflops. That was a $1,200 GPU in 2013. So was the Game Pass stuff. Then they announced it, and we're like, okay, it's a thing. This could very well happen.
Cost?
Ah, man, you might want to Google that real quick, but they were worth $2 or $3 billion like 15 years ago or some crap. So they're probably worth 25, 30 billion, maybe more now.
I think somebody said 24 or 23 billion, something like that.
Something crazy. They paid over $2 billion just for Minecraft by itself. So keep that in mind. They bought Havoc, they bought Simply Gone, they bought Minecraft, they bought PlayFab, they bought all this technology here lately. Then they're definitely potentially looking at acquiring EA. Now, I will say, as I said in my last video, I don't think these games are going to become exclusive. Battlefield 5 or Bad Company 3, I don't think they're going to do that at all.
Nope.
I think they're smarter than that. They're going to do what they did with Minecraft and sell it to everybody and make a lot of money. But that doesn't mean that some of that money might trickle back down to their Xbox games budget and give you more exclusives.
But
also, too, I think they use it as a leverage for Play Anywhere. Crossplay, where you want on your platform, you're gonna have to enable crossplay with Nintendo, with us, Xbox, whatever.
It gives them leverage, yeah.
You know what else it would do? It would actually, they could take some of these developers and actually make their own exclusive games with, using some of these developers that will be working underneath them. So EA's got a lot of great talent, a lot of games there.
How many games do they put out a year, guys?
Oh, dude. What would you say?
I'd say at least 10 to 12.
Because they have little games, and they have 2 or 3 big games. It says their total assets is at $7 billion, and their total equity is at $4 billion. Revenue is $4.8 billion. I mean, that's a pricey acquisition.
Yeah,
I'd rather wait and see before I make any comments on the.
I mean, look what comes with them: BioWare, Criterion.
Yeah, I think
crazy.
I think it's better to wait and see with something Like a rumor like that is just kind of.
It is wild.
It's kind of out there.
It is. I look more.
Yeah.
I honestly look at Valve being more. I give it like a raised eyebrow because I'm like, because Microsoft, they'd love to tap into that PC market, like that Steam market anyway. That's
Valve is just a developer. It has nothing to do with Steam.
Are you sure? They own Steam.
No, that's Gabe Newell, and Valve is one of their lead teams. That I think if they bought Valve, it wouldn't be them buying Steam. It would be the studio that made Left 4 Dead and stuff like that.
But here's the thing: but Valve themselves, though, what have they been really making lately?
Probably Half-Life 3.
The last 20 years.
They've been making Half-Life 3 for the past 20 years.
Yeah,
So I mean, I
Unreal
don't see a reason for Gabe Newell to feel like he needs to sell Valve off at all. They don't need money, right? They got Steam. They got the market on PC.
Yep.
Everyone else's services suck so bad. Steam is practically a monopoly. So there's the Valve stuff I'm not buying. The PUBG stuff, yeah, I think there were in talks there. EA, I wouldn't buy this at all. I wouldn't even talk about it if it didn't come from the same guy that they have broken these other stories with. So I don't know.
Well,
And the
you know
fact
what they
that
say.
Microsoft has come out and said anything about it today is kind of telling too.
There was a stockholder meeting this morning at EA.
Well,
So I'm not sure what's going on.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. There's always a little bit of truth to big rumors like this that get put out in different media outlets. There's always some truth. So,
I agree.
As far as them buying EA, I really doubt it, just because of how much it would cost them. I mean, sure, they could afford it, but to recoup that, I don't know, man.
They could technically recoup that in 1 year.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that Star Wars Battlefront 1 sold like close to 30 million copies.
Yeah.
Does the Xbox division have like full access to Microsoft money, or
If that's a decision that's coming straight from the top, Satya. So
Okay.
that's like Mojang, that's like Minecraft. That came from Satya. Phil didn't just say, "All right," that came from the CEO of Microsoft.
And Satya did address the stockholders, saying that they were going to pour millions and millions of dollars into the Xbox game division. So
yeah, what's that guy's name? The guy that used to be in charge before Phil, Tony Myerson or Terry Myerson. He was basically who Phil had to answer to before Phil's most recent position. Terry Myerson is the guy that didn't want the Windows Store to fall under jurisdiction of the Xbox crew, the guys that could actually make the Windows Store worth a damn. Terry Myerson's the guy that didn't want Xbox to get more funds. He felt like they needed to cut some funds from the Xbox division. Phil got that position. He doesn't report to Terry anymore. And that's why this is kind of big. You then soon after find out Microsoft are pouring all this money into games, which people keep forgetting about, right? So, hey, I got to say thanks for almost 600 people watching. Hit that like button if you can. Let's get well over 300 for the end of the show as we continue our discussion on Game Pass, Terry Myerson's an asshole, and more. But yeah, EA acquisition's big, Luca. I want to hear what you do think about this. And we're not saying that it's happening, but it is a possibility based off of this source. What are your thoughts?
It's interesting. I think it's interesting. Like, who was saying? Was that you, Fonz? I don't. One of you was saying they do have a lot of good, talented devs under them. I'd want them, like, if anything, I'd want them to get BioWare and get them from out from under EA. Like, please free them. Because I really I'm kind of worried about them. I'm worried that if Anthem doesn't do good, they're gonna get the axe next, and I really don't want to see them go.
It's like developing a game with a shotgun to the back of your head,
Yeah.
I'm with you, Luca. I'm really hoping that BioWare pulls through because I still have some faith in BioWare.
Yeah.
EA was good for them for the development of Mass Effect 2. Like they brought in their EA team to kind of work alongside, and the combat was phenomenal in Mass Effect 2. But then not long after that, that was about 10 years ago almost. Not long after that, Mass Effect started taking that turn, didn't it? Under EA.
Yeah, it didn't take long. And with Microsoft owning someone like BioWare, that incentive to gouge for pennies, I think, is less than ever, because Microsoft don't do that on their own first-party games, right? People still think Forza 7 has loot boxes or microtransaction loot boxes when it never had them in the first place, right? Yeah. A lot of misinformation there, but Microsoft ultimately don't gouge you for money in their multiplayer games that I've experienced anyway, and I play quite a bit of them, so... It's just one of those things where it seems impossible. It seems crazy. But it could happen. You just never know, man. This isn't the first time EA have tried to sell themselves off. Deals have fallen through before with EA, so they're definitely up for sale.
Everybody has a price.
Yep.
Especially Jay Fonzarelli.
Oh yeah, I've got a price. 250 grand. That's it. You
That's
can
it.
have me.
Damn. You just roll up, you open your man purse, he jumps in, and you just walk off with him. Yeah. I don't know. Let us know what you think in the chat. This acquisition, how likely do you think it is? What do you think can happen? Keep in mind when they buy EA, if they buy EA, which probably won't happen, they're paying for not only all the studios, the IPs, the tech, Frostbite Engine 3. They're getting a lot of stuff here. And it's an absolutely massive business that makes billions and billions every year, just EA alone. So they could recoup their costs in just a few years. Keep in mind, I don't think the exclusives will be increasing anyway. Not anytime soon after the acquisition. What are your thoughts on that?
Imagine they took some of the if they were to make this acquisition, they took some of the developers from EA and said, you know what? We want you guys to take on the next Halo. Imagine something like that.
I don't know, man.
A fresh take on the franchise. They got some really, really talented, I would say the top in the world. They come from either EA or Ubisoft. And let's just be frank about that.
Ubisoft? I don't know, man.
No,
not Naughty Dog are easily one of the top in the world.
Okay. We'll exclude Naughty Dog, of course, Naughty Dog. But apart from them, it's EA and Ubisoft. Who else is making waves?
Bethesda.
Bethesda.
Yes,
yeah.
but Bethesda's still.
It's like yes, but those guys don't count. They went on lunch break.
They're not on the same. They're not on the same level though. They make good games.
Bethesda.
They're not on the same level graphically.
Yeah, look at For Honor.
Yeah,
For Honor was made a lot of money, even though it wasn't like a super successful game. When Ubisoft makes a game, everyone takes notice, even though
that's because we're like, where's the finished version?
Where's the rest of it, right? They always have great ideas. They do. They have really good ideas. They just never fall all the way through. But he's right. Ubisoft's a big dog in the fight.
They have great IPs like Far Cry and Assassin's Creed. Like the idea and theme behind them are great. It's just the execution.
Yeah, like they rush everything and they show stuff that's not even real gameplay and they change stuff. And Division, if it were what it was supposed to be, if it were what it was unveiled to be, it would be so next level even to this day.
Yeah.
I go back and watch that. If I ever want to get pissed off or ready for the gym, I just watch that first Division trailer.
It was the same for me with Watch Dogs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everybody.
Watch Dogs, too. Yeah.
I heard that game.
Well, I was going to stir the hornet's nest, but say that Assassin's Creed Origins kind of lived up to what they presented early on, and then Fonz is going to come over here and choke me out.
They did live up to it. They showed it, and it looks every bit as good as it did.
Mm-hmm. It looks really good.
Yeah, AC Origins is their first really big complete game since Black Flag, probably.
It's honestly one of the best looking games this gen, in my opinion.
Oh,
I definitely, especially on the X, I was blown away while I was playing it. I was like, damn, that looks good. Especially since I came from my little 720p display to my 4K HDR display. I was like, oh, okay, this is nice. I like this.
Luca does a backflip into the wall. Holy
He does a backflip on the wall and fucking bounces off the wall. So if what do you guys think about let's say they did purchase EA, right? We're still on this horse. Game Pass. They could they could, of course, I think those games, Battlefield, Star Wars, all this stuff will come to all platforms. I think that for sure. But would it come out at the same time? Would it come, obviously they'd be Game Pass day one. What do you think there?
Here's the thing they could use. They could get rid of EA access and just put that into Game Pass, implement it into there, and you can have the games early on Game
Did I say EA access? I meant Game Pass. I don't know if I said.
No. But Fonz has a good point because if they acquire EA, you have to wonder what the heck would happen to Game Pass, and maybe people only want to have Game Pass. Fonz, like that, it gets a little tricky, doesn't it? Like people enjoy that $5 a month, But
just think about it. They can actually get games early through Game Pass, for 10 days or whatever it is that EA Access does for you.
Mm-hmm.
That'll just be rolled into Game Pass.
Maybe they could keep both.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would incorporate it into Game Pass, and then for those that don't want it, then keep it on its own as well. And then give them the option. It wouldn't hurt.
Yep, that's fine.
Give them the option. Options aren't bad. Hey, too, as I said in my last video, for those out there worrying about what Microsoft is spending their money on in terms of Game Pass, their revenue stream. Don't worry about it. Microsoft, the fact that Game Pass exists and they've done the policies that they've done is proof in itself that they're not too worried about it, right? So Game Pass is nothing but pro-consumer, right? You benefit from this in every way. There is no negative for you. If you still want to buy the games, like I'm going to still buy State of Decay and stuff digitally like I do now. But
nothing's locked. Nothing's locked behind Game Pass. There's no exclusive no exclusive game that's locked behind the $10 a month Game Pass subscription. And a lot of people say, why not just dissolve Xbox Live Gold membership and just make Game Pass? I hear that a lot.
I want options. I want options. Yeah, there needs to be an option because some people don't want digital at all, so you need that option for gold for them. They could do some sort of combination, put them together for 6 months or something. You get a discount, a small discount, something like that would be fine. But they should leave it as an option because you don't want to force Game Pass on anybody. That's
good point. You don't want to force anything on anyone. Really.
And that's the thing. All these people complaining about Game Pass. It's an option. You don't have to have Game Pass. If you don't like it, don't freaking buy it. Just buy your games and play your games the way you normally do. Nothing's going to happen. And don't worry about Microsoft's man purse because it's full of money. Don't worry about it. Okay.
I think a lot of them, they underestimate how much money Microsoft already make on Game Pass, right? So from what I'm hearing, it's around 2 million subscribers or close to right now. I've said this before, but I've heard this from people that know people, and that's already $20 million a month, right? That's just Game Pass without anything else. Add to that the sales from Game Pass, which are there, and then add to that the DLC, and then add to that all the microtransactions that the people in Game Pass buy. You're looking at a bunch of money already, and there's not even any first-party new releases in there yet.
And Bill Gates' fanny pack is full of it, just all kinds of money.
All kinds of games.
Just close your eyes, pretend that Game Pass never existed, that you never heard about it. Go to your local store and buy your games the way you used to.
It's not the whole library anyway. Like I said, it's just a small little fraction. And there's some great games on there, but maybe 20 super hot games on Game Pass out of the 165 titles. It's take it easy. It's worth stepping.
One game like Gears of War 4 is worth Game Pass for a month or two by itself.
Sure. Or I need to play through Gears Ultimate Edition. I haven't gotten those achievements. I haven't played that game since it was a year old. So I'm going to be doing that too.
Yeah, I like my video about it. I've gotten so many people that don't own Xboxes that say this is great, this is awesome. If you could play God of War and Spider-Man this year for $10 a month, you probably do it, right? And by the way, a topic I accidentally skipped over: Spider-Man rumored release date is September 28th. So if you're looking forward to Spider-Man like I am, September 28th is when that's popping up. Hopefully we get it. God of War and Spider-Man hitting this year. It looks good. So any other final thoughts as we head out? Like, once again, we got to give a shout out to almost 600 people watching right now. Hit that like button if you can. We appreciate it so much as we go into outros. Final thoughts on this Game Pass thing. Let's get it all out there.
Options, dealer. Like you keep saying that. Like, have you noticed how Microsoft over the past years turned into this flexibility options thing, these extra services?
This pro-consumer monster is what it is.
Yeah, very, very good.
Yeah, I'm down for Game Pass. I think for the consumer, this is fantastic, and I guess for the fanboy, it's not so good because they can't count numbers. But I'll say this though, for the fanboy, like real talk, I'll say this for the fanboy. You can use the metric of how many people are playing the game. So now, if 10 million people are playing the game, then that's 10 million copies.
Yeah,
there's your number.
Yep.
And Buddha had a little thing in the chat. He basically sent me a link on Twitter that says the human eye can see 68.7 frames per second. I personally never gamed on a 120 hertz display. I know that transfers or kind of goes into the smoothness of the game, right? Such a high frame rate.
Yeah.
But in terms of maybe seeing a still frame or something, yeah, technically, I guess, according to this source, 68.7 frames the brain can process. But like I said, definitely we can see 60. I know that fucking much. So once again,
120 just looks, how can I put it? When you put the frame interpolation on your TV and it's just going a little bit too fast.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like that. Some of these PC guys, like, honestly tell you 60 frames per second is more than enough. But these PC guys, it's like, why do some people put 600 horsepower in their car? You know, like, is it really necessary? You know?
Yeah.
Well, my friend texted me that one morning when the Witcher 3 enhancement dropped, and he goes, Colt, I think it's 60, but I'm not sure. And I'm like, well, let me check. And I went into performance, changed it to performance mode, backed out, and Geralt's like in his room in the very beginning of the game. I'm like, oh yeah, it's definitely 60. He's like, are you sure? I go, without a doubt, like, because you just know, know 60, you know what it looks like. There's no way that I know what 60 looks like, so you can tell.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yep.
And who knows what the future holds, what Microsoft has up their sleeves, because, you know, people laugh at cloud compute, but cloud compute, if they enable it in some games, really can enable some of these games to go 60 frames per second because it's taking the load, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hey, Michael Cello, sorry. Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, another great show, guys. Thank you guys so much. If not for you, we wouldn't be putting this show on. So we really appreciate that you guys support us and follow all of us on Twitter and YouTube channels and stuff like that. Speaking of that, outros. Once again, guys, hit that like button on your way out if you can. Luca, where can people find you? You got your channel up and running. What's going on there?
Yeah, so you guys can find me at the Ash and Luca on Twitter and also on Xbox Live. I just set up a Discord, so go join my Discord. You can go look at my Twitter and join from there. And oh yeah, I have a YouTube channel too. But yeah, it's been pretty good. It's been great. It was a good show, interesting topics. Fonz went off. That was really funny. And you know, the chat was lit as per usual. You know, we got a lot of people in there. And I just want to say real quick that, you know, like Dealer was saying, we really appreciate you guys. Like, without you, there wouldn't be a show. There'd be no point in doing any of this. And you guys are awesome.
Cyrus Burke in the chat. Sorry, I can't see Pat. What the do you see that, Colt?
Yeah, I can't see past a Microsoft PowerPoint.
Thank you so much in the super chat, Cyrus. You're always here, man. Showing support. We appreciate it. Same for all the other guys. You know who you are. You guys are always here. We do appreciate it. So go to Luca's channel, subscribe, dislike all their shit. Hey, Jay, what are you up to? Where can people find you?
Man, they can find me at Jay Fonzarelli. They can find me at Loot Chest Radio, Twitter, YouTube. Check out my podcast, Loot Chest Radio. Tomorrow I'll be on the Basement Radio Arcade podcast. So check me out there on YouTube. Yeah, that's about it. And as far as Sea of Thieves goes, guys, look, that's all just my opinion for myself. I'm not into it. Fonz likes to stay on dry land. I don't like the water in my games. I don't like the water in real life unless I'm taking a shower. Not into the whole beach scene. So it's just not my thing. So don't come at me with pitchforks for shitting on a game you might love. You know, I understand everybody's got their different tastes and everything. So anyway.
Fonz's favorite game is Loco Cycle. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, I love it.
But Colt, man, where can people find you? What are you up to?
Lucas stole my thunder. I was gonna show the appreciation for the chat because it's so entertaining to watch what you guys have to say and hear you interact with each other and give your opinion, and it keeps us on our toes. And yeah, I also want to give my appreciation. If you guys weren't here, we wouldn't be here talking games. I guess we'd be here talking games anyway, but we'd just be listening to ourselves. So I want to give my appreciation to all you guys for supporting our channels, being here for us. And I'm at Colt Eastwood at YouTube. If you want to subscribe and get on Xbox Live, we'll play some games.
Yeah. Be sure and check out Colt's channel. I'm sure most of you guys already are. You just passed 30,000 subs. I should be at 20K tonight, I think, actually. So once again, thank you guys so much for subscribing. The support on the podcast has been amazing. And just interacting with you guys in the chat. You know, I think we do that among the most in the community. I think we talk to you guys a lot in the chat, and we didn't get to RDX question of the day, which just dawned on me because we had so much stuff to talk about, but we try to involve you guys.
And he's really been begging for us to answer it before you take off. Tip Top Dalton says, since the Xbox One is about 10 times more powerful than 360, I'm not sure in those numbers. I've found them before. 6 times, okay. Well, so we'll correct it. And the X is 4 times more powerful than the One.
4.5 times.
Yeah. Look at Dealer with the numbers. He's awesome. Do you all think the Xbox 2 will be at least 2 times more powerful than the X?
Yeah. If it were only 2 times, it'd be by far the smallest jump in history when it comes to consoles.
But what do you think that number is going to be as we talk about like 4K 60 across the board with just bigger and better worlds?
I CPU is already holding back the capability of what we have now in terms of 60 and physics and destruction and AI and animation, right? You're still going to see a massive leap, even if it's only 10 teraflops. You're going to be playing at 60 FPS with all those improved features that I just mentioned. So either way, just with the better CPU cores, you're looking at a pretty big change, you know?
I think it's going to be a 2-time increase, and just because of the time span, right? We're going to have about 2 years from now to the next one. So in 2 years, I would say maybe about 2 times increase in power.
Perhaps,
which will give us the 4K 60. That's all we need. We need 4K 60 with high ultra settings, and we're gravy.
Yeah, you remember when everyone thought this thing was going to have medium setting? Oh, low settings at 4K. Everything's been like high, even ultra, you know? So I don't know, man. Some people are just frauds. But once again, guys, thank you so much for showing up. Hit that like button on your way out. We're out, guys.
Bye.
See ya.